Hi, my name is Phil Grande, philsgang.com. The 401k big lie. They tell you invest $10,000 a year for 30 years, compounded at 6% annually. You will have a grand total of $245,000 to retire. That is not true. That is not the truth. What they don't tell you is the hidden fees. There's 27 hidden fees in your 401k. When you're all done, you lose half of what you put aside for your retirement. That's right, half. And another thing, you're not allowed to do individual stocks in a mutual fund. And you're not allowed to make money when stocks go down. That's ridiculous. Would you buy a car with just forward and no reverse? Why would you ever be in a fund that you can't make money when the stock market goes down? Join my gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, there's nothing worse than you're investing in a stock and during the day something happens and you don't know what to do. You don't know who to call. Or you call somebody and they just give you a bunch of BS. Not here at Phil's Gang. We value every gang member. During the day, you got a question about your stock, you contact us. We have the best service in the world. philsgang.com. You're not alone. You're a gang member.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. When's the last time you've gotten a raise? It's been a long time. When's the last time you got overtime? That's been a long time. Sure, why? What people don't realize is we got two components out there that is killing your standard of living. Free money provided to CEOs from the Federal Reserve, and then the way the CEO is being compensated. CEOs are not compensated on performance anymore. CEOs are compensated on stock options. That's how they make most of their money. So as long as the Federal Reserve will give them money free, they're going to focus on the CEO buying shares back to pop that price up to make that stock option. That's why you're not getting paid. Join my gang, philsgang.com.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
Time is the one thing that we want more of. Without the donors, I wouldn't have my Audrey. They take care of our housing. They take care of our food. In addition to the best medical treatment that my daughter could ever have. So it allows me to focus on my daughter and getting her better.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Aren't you tired of all the nonsense you hear from these financial shows like this?
Should I be worried about Bear Stearns in terms of liquidity and get my money out of there? No, no, no. Bear Stearns is fine.
And then they went bankrupt. This is what I'm talking about. This is crazy. Your 401k, they take half of all the money you put away. Look, it's not about the money you're saving. It's about where you invest it and not in a 401k. Join my gang. Start using charts. I'll teach you how to use a chart so that you can maximize your returns on the money you do have. And the earlier you get started, the better. Join my gang, philsgang.com. philsgang.com.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. We're a teaching format. Boy, do we give good service. You know, buying a stock doesn't have to be complicated. The reason why Wall Street makes it complicated is so to make you think you need to hire them. You can do better without them, believe me, because you're not going to have those big fees. Come to Phil's Gang, where we'll show you an easy way to buy a stock. philsgang.com, where we don't make it complicated but profitable.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call. That's 877-600-4264.
Even if the federal funds rate were to return to near zero, the FOMC would still have considerable scope to provide additional accommodation.
Accommodation, what's that mean? It simply means printing money. What she's saying is the economy's terrible. We're going to claw back that 25% or 0.25% interest rate hike that we did in December. and I'm going to print a whole bunch of money so that we can give it to companies to buy their own shares back so they can boost the stock market higher. The problem with that money is 0%. That means that people lose their jobs. They go from full-time to part-time. From part-time, they go to poverty. That's the problem. We can't keep doing this. Here's the point. When the market is going up, it's always when the economy is bad. Join my gang, philsgang.com, so you can participate.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. There is only one talk show host, Phil Grande, who delivers both social and financial talk. Not even Hannity or Rush can deliver a 1-2 punch like that. That's Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Phil Grande is unique, the industry leader, the first talk show host ever to combine social issues and finance into winning stock market ideas. That's Phil Grande, philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
Business owners that I talked to today say they're going to take a major hit, especially those small businesses. Bringing the minimum wage up to $15 an hour, they say could affect everyone.
It's going to be devastating. We're a mom and pop. There aren't that many mom and pops around. This is our American dream.
Warshawski says right now their employees' salaries make up 30% of the business cost. Another 30% goes towards food and beverage, and then 40% makes up the business, rent, insurance, etc. Once minimum wage is $15 an hour, it will hike employee costs up to 45%.
And nobody gets that. It's amazing. Few people get that. Minimum wage is a killer. But what they don't get is that this minimum wage, it's all political. The reason they are using this political minimum wage, we'll call it, is because they have destroyed wages, especially for low-income people. Quantitative easing has killed wages for low-income people. They've destroyed low-income people, their wages. So this is how they can mask it, getting back and getting their good grace sale. We're going to increase this minimum wage, which is only 1.7 million people on minimum wage. 98% of them are 16 to 19 years old. There's not families on minimum wage. I think I told you, between single moms and families, 0.1% of the 1.7 million are on this minimum wage. It's all political. Welcome to Phil's Gang, coast to coast around the country, off the Wall Street Radio Network. The market this morning, if you remember, last night we went negative. I told my gang members, and I told them last night at Market Wrap, and I also told them this morning at Coffee Talk that the market would open up. You don't be surprised tomorrow morning we don't wake up and we're up 50 points, 45 points. And guess what? We woke up this morning, bang, the market was up. But I told them also, it probably will not hold. If the banks can't rally, then this market won't hold. You got to have the banks. It's always the banks. It's the banks that prop up the whole stock market. You can have all the rallies you want. You can be up in the morning 150, 200 points, but if the banks don't rally behind it, then guess what? You lose that rally. That's what investors know. That's why every day when you're investing in a stock, the first thing you look at is the banks. If the banks aren't going up, you know your rally's not going to hold. So don't put a lot of money into it. Anyways, what a week this has been. Okay, what a week. My friend Donald Trump, he got whacked pretty good in Wisconsin. They're all over him now. like he's going to lose, right? But here's what really aggravates me. I mean, he did some real stupid things. There's no question about that. He did a couple of dumb things. But what gets to me is they're really going after him now because they're angry that, he's pointing out the truth, that what's going on in this economy. That's all fantasy. And this economy is going to collapse. And boy, they are angry over that. Here, listen to this.
Well, everything is artificial. There's nothing that's real. We're just printing money and we're doing it incorrectly. And people don't have the incentive to go forward. They don't have the incentive to create jobs. And if it continues to go this way, it's going to be very, very sad for the economy.
What he's talking about, the people, he says the people don't have the incentive to go forward and create jobs. He's talking about our leaders. He's talking about our president. He's talking about our administration. He's talking, look, they're lazy. If all they can do is print money and push the stock market up, why go create jobs? Why create them? Why go through the work? As long as you can fake the whole country out, move the stock market up, and the country, they truly believe when they look at the stock market, that relates to the economy. That they look at the market and they think the market represents the health of the economy. So they're so lazy, they just keep the 0% interest policy so they can keep on pushing stocks up, and so they don't have to create jobs. It's amazing. And he's right. It's all fake. Now listen to what Jack Lew said about being fake.
When you look at the U.S. economy, I think we've shown that we've reached a level of strength that's quite real and sustainable.
Real and sustainable? See, Trump said, no, it's not real and sustainable. That's why everybody's mad at him. See, he's spot on. But here, Jack Lew, Treasury Secretary, comes on and lies to us and says it is real. It's sustainable. It's not real. Then Janet Yellen says.
The U.S. economy has been doing well and domestic strength is...
Oh, we got a lot of domestic strength. Oh, really? Obama.
Now, we've clearly seen some positive economic news over the last few months.
Positive? Wait a minute. Positive? The Atlanta Fed 2 months ago said our first quarter GDP was going to come in at 2.7% for 2016, the quarter we're in now. We had a horrible last quarter, 2015, the very last quarter, 1.4%. They first said, okay, the quarter 2016, we'd come in at 2.7%. They slashed it to 0.1%. 0.1%. That's 1/10 of 1%. Are you kidding? And what did he say? Obama?
Now, we've clearly seen some positive economic news over the last few months.
How can that be positive? If our economic growth of our country, our economy is going down, we're not growing, it's being slashed from 2.7 down to 0.1%. Corporate earnings will be down 8.5% for the first quarter of this 2016 compared to a year ago. This will be the fourth quarter in a row that we have seen year-over-year declines. And the last time that happened was during the last recession. The S&P 500, the earnings have now fallen a total of 18.5% from their peak in 2014. How about job cut announcements, Mr. President? Made by all these major firms. They were up 32% during the first quarter of 2016 compared to the first quarter of 2015, Mr. President. Up 32%. Job count cuts announcements up 32%. U.S. factory orders have now declined, Mr. President, on a year-over-year basis for 16 months in a row. Business sales have plunged 22%, truck orders plunged 37%, and rail orders have plunged 21%. But what are you saying?
Now, we've clearly seen some positive economic news over the last few months.
What a liar. It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, who's peddling the fiction? He comes out and says, what was his comment? We'll get to cut. His comment was about, if you believe the economy is really doing good, then people are peddling fiction. He's the one that's peddling fiction. He's peddling the fiction. For God's sakes, this guy's peddling the fiction. It's unbelievable. The same guy who made a speech in Buenos Aires saying, what's the difference between communists? You might as well be a communist country. It doesn't matter. Then democracy is no different. Pick your choice. Take your choice. And then Obama comes out and says this. This is amazing.
The auto industry is back. Confidence is up.
Auto industry back? What are you, nuts? His own analysts come back out and said this.
Overall, the small and mid-car sedan market is in trouble. We're looking at last month's sales. We have a recession in cars. We're minus 5-6% in car sales. The cars that are being sold.
Unbelievable. But what does Obama say?
The auto industry is back.
We're back. What is wrong with this guy? See, that's the problem. They're not willing to tell the truth, and if you can't tell the truth, how are we going to fix the problem? You join my gang. That's how. We'll be right back after this break.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
We're on our best 2-year job creation streak in 20 years.
What are you, nuts? Who'd believe that? Let me tell you the truth. First of all, the 292,000 jobs we got in December 2015, and they told us the unemployment rate is 5%. Not true. You can't trust these people on Wall Street. You can't trust the press. What they don't count is, in December, for example, the 615,000 discouraged workers. A discouraged worker is a person unemployed, gave up looking for work, but this administration does not count them as unemployed when calculating the 5% unemployment rate. Instead, they classify the discouraged as marginally attached to the labor force, but they're not considered part of the labor force or part of the unemployment. That's why you can't trust what they tell you. If we back into 625,000, the real unemployment rate is 12%, not 5%. That's why you got to join my gang, where you get the truth and where we use charts. Join the gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, my name is Phil Grande, philsgang.com. I'm going to tell you something about your 401k that you don't know. You know the 401k is a tax code? That's what it is. Here's how it worked. In the 80s, you had pension funds, but they decided to give their CEOs a benefit on top of the pension. It was called 401k. That was to shelter their income. That way they could keep the CEOs because it was very competitive. But when all the jobs were shipped overseas, they no longer could keep pension funds. Too expensive. So they shifted all their employees to a 401k, duping you thinking it was a good deal. But what they did is they charged hidden fees, which amount to about $250 billion a day, that they gave to lobbyists to go to Washington to make sure that this 401k would never be transparent. Here's what came of it.
Responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
That's right. So join my gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. There is only one talk show host, Phil Grande, who delivers both social and financial talk. Not even Hannity or Rush can deliver a 1-2 punch like that. That's Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Phil Grande is unique, the industry leader, the first talk show host ever to combine social issues and finance into winning stock market ideas. That's Phil Grande, philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
Hi, my name is Phil Grande, philsgang.com. The 401k big lie. They tell you invest $10,000 a year for 30 years, compounded at 6% annually. You will have a grand total of $245,000 to retire. That is not true. That is not the truth. What they don't tell you is the hidden fees. There's 27 hidden fees in your 401k. When you're all done, you lose half of what you put aside for your retirement. That's right, half. And another thing, you're not allowed to do individual stocks in a mutual fund. And you're not allowed to make money when stocks go down. That's ridiculous. Would you buy a car with just forward and no reverse? Why would you ever be in a fund that you can't make money when the stock market goes down? Join my gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. We're a teaching format. And boy, do we give good service. You know, buying a stock doesn't have to be complicated. The reason why Wall Street makes it complicated is so to make you think you need to hire them. You can do better without them, believe me, because you're not going to have those big fees. Come to Phil's Gang, where we'll show you an easy way to buy a stock. philsgang.com, where we don't make it complicated, but profitable.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. You know, every day we hear from Wall Street, you turn on the TV, and they're telling us how the economy's great, everything's great. And these are the same people that run the 401ks who, with a 2% fee, take more than half of your money and put it in their pocket. You will never retire comfortably in a 401k. But try to convince 90 million people, it's almost impossible. People just don't listen. They get comfortable and stay with these 401ks. They don't work. You're not going to be able to retire. It's simple. Go to my site, philsgang.com. Join the gang, try it for a month, and we're going to show you how to use a chart. And that is going to put you in such a comfort zone of retirement.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Radio Show. Want to know more about Phil's Gang? Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
This president will go down in history as one of the smartest presidents. So. He is also incredibly disciplined and focused. Now, you take it for granted. Smart, too. Smart, really?
Yeah, really smart, bright, real smart. That's our friend Sanders. By the way, did you see Sanders today on TV? Did you see him? He's on TV. I'm looking at him going, looks like he's got a pile of snow on his left shoulder. I said, I don't think there was a snowstorm, was there? It was all dandruff. It was dandruff. This is the guy you want for president? I'm serious. He's sitting there on TV, and you would see pile of dandruff, white dandruff, all over his shoulder. My God. It's unbelievable, these communists. Just unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, he should do a Head and Shoulders commercial. He'd make more money doing that. I mean, what's wrong? I mean, you know, and like I said, his wife the other day, don't we have class anymore? At the White House, don't we care? I mean, Nancy Reagan, I mean, God, we used to have class. Man. So now Obama comes out and he's peddling fiction. See, they're very upset with Trump. Oh, they're so upset with Trump. Because, see, what Trump is saying is Wall Street and this administration is taking parking space in our head. They're saying, you just can't lose. They have what they call this just can't lose fantasy. That you can keep levitating these stock prices. They'll just levitate as long as you continue to do 0% financing. Zero money. Stock prices will levitate. And Trump's saying, well, that can't lose fantasy of forever levitating is stupid. You're going to put this country in such a mess. So they're angry because he's telling the truth. Because no politicians would tell the truth about the economy, what we're involved in. And so if you don't tell the truth, how are we going to fix it? Would you tell me how are we going to fix it? When he said that he saw everything so positive.
Now we've clearly seen some positive economic news over the.
How can you call where the Atlanta Fed comes in and says, "I'm sorry, we got to revise our economic growth expectation for the first quarter 2016 from 2.7. We're going to slash it to 0.1, 1/10, not even 2%, 0.1%. And at the same time, we get our corporate earnings are going to be down 8.5% for this quarter we're in. This will be the fourth quarter in a row that we have seen year-over-year declines. But what do? Like this morning, they decide to run the stock market up. So people think the economy's doing good. How do they do that? They just keep printing money and printing money. And the problem with the printing of the money, it kills the very people that Obama and the liberal Democrats say they're trying to help, the working poor. Well, you don't help the working poor when you're printing and printing and printing money. So to do quantitative easing, so to give money to companies so they can buy their own shares, so that you print and print and print and take that money and buy 10-year treasuries to make them unattractive to countries like Saudi Arabia and China, so they no longer buy our treasuries, so they come and buy stocks instead. When you do all that printing and printing and printing, you kill wages. And not only that, but you continue with the debt. The debt keeps going higher and higher. And as the debt grows, we have money. The money starts disappearing for other good programs like education. Our schools are falling apart. This guy's the worst guy in the world. Now, what can you and I do? All I can do is help you make money. Hopefully help you create some wealth. And all I want you to do is send some money to St. Jude. That's all. That's all. Now, I have 2 videos up. I put up a video for you using my PT2 chart. They're on my homepage. I want you to go over the weekend, check it out, and you'll see. There's no lie. This is absolutely, you'll see on the chart how I was able to take the PT2 chart for people that have no time at all. My gang members who are busy people. And I pointed out to them Tiffany on the chart. And you'll see it's in the video. And I said, let's go ahead and buy Tiffany. And I showed them on the chart. It just turned green, which was a buy signal. It was a 15% return. Now, I'm not saying every gang member got a 15% return, but they had an opportunity to get the 15% return if they listened to me and they followed and used the PT2 chart correctly. I put up another one, XBI. And what's XBI? XBI is the symbol for the biotech. And they got killed. I said, I think there's an opportunity there. And then the PT2 just turned green, gave us a buy signal, and went up 6%. These are on my homepage. Go to philsgang.com, and you'll see it right there. Their video, wonderful. And I also said, I'll help you follow Ford. We put up Ford last night, my video. I said, I'm going to show you how to make money with a stock going down using our PT2 chart. We put in an advance order to short Ford when it hits $12.38. So it was up at $13.14. I said, when it hits $12.38, it's still red. When it hits that $12.38, we'll sell it short on the PT2. I said, you can follow it every day. Have some fun, follow it. So it didn't get filled yesterday, didn't get filled today. So just go to my site every day. It's free. Go to philsgang.com, go to my site, and you'll see the PT2. So you'll be able to review the Tiffany, how we got to 15%, how XBI, we got 6%, and how we got, we're ready to start working with Ford. This is such an opportunity. See, I don't know what to do. I can't tell you. You're not going to believe me that what Obama is saying and his administration say. I mean, his administration lies for him. Instead of his administration telling, hey, things are bad, we gotta fix things before things get worse. Instead, they go along with him, which is ridiculous, crazy. Factory orders are tumbling, but they won't. Either they don't tell him, or he just doesn't care. I don't know which is it. But I care. I care about you. So join my gang. Check out the PT2. You'll love it. You'll see. You'll see it works. Go to my site, philsgang.com. You don't have to be a gang member. Just check out the video.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Yellen came out and told us that she is basically going to pull back the 25 basis point hike that she had in December, the quarter point, because the economy is bad. Then she's going to do quantitative easing. So what does that mean? That means as the economy gets worse, the market's going to go up. See, most people think when the economy's bad, the market should be going down. Just the opposite. Because when the economy is bad, The Federal Reserve comes in, prints money, gives it to the companies to buy their own shares back to push their stocks up, because when the economy's bad, people aren't out spending and their stock doesn't go up. This is how they do it. A great opportunity. Don't miss it. Join my gang, philsgang.com. Become part of this wealth effect. philsgang.com.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
Time is the one thing that we want more of as a St. Jude parent. Without the donors, I wouldn't have my Audrey.
El que St. Jude no cobra ni un centavo para nosotros significa quitarnos todo ese estrés, esa preocupación y podernos enfocar en nuestra hija.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When they told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow, they pretty much have saved us.
They take care of our housing. They take care of our food. In addition to the best medical treatment that my daughter could ever have. So it allows me to focus on my daughter and getting her better.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Aren't you tired of all the nonsense you hear from these financial shows like this?
Should I be worried about Bear Stearns in terms of liquidity and get my money out of there? No, no, no. Bear Stearns is fine.
And then they went bankrupt. This is what I'm talking about. This is crazy. Your 401k, they take half of all the money you put away. Look, it's not about the money you're saving. It's about where you invest it and not in a 401k. Join my gang. Start using charts. I'll teach you how to use a chart so that you can maximize your returns on the money you do have. And the earlier you get started, the better. Join my gang, philsgang.com. philsgang.com.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
Time is the one thing that we want more of. Without the donors, I wouldn't have my Audrey. They take care of our housing. They take care of our food. In addition to the best medical treatment that my daughter could ever have. So it allows me to focus on my daughter and getting her better.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Hi, my name is Phil Grande at philsgang.com. I'm going to tell you something about your 401k that you don't know. You know the 401k is a tax code? That's what it is. Here's how it worked. In the 80s, you had pension funds, but they decided to give their CEOs a benefit on top of the pension. It was called 401k. That was to shelter their income. That way they could keep the CEOs because it was very competitive. But when all the jobs were shipped overseas, they no longer could keep pension funds. Too expensive. So they shifted all their employees to a 401k, duping you, thinking it was a good deal. But what they did is they charged hidden fees, which amount to about $250 billion a day, that they gave to lobbyists to go to Washington to make sure that this 401k would never be transparent. Here's what came of it.
Responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
That's right. So join my gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, there's nothing worse than you're investing in a stock and during the day something happens and you don't know what to do. You don't know who to call. Or you call somebody and they just give you a bunch of BS. Not here at Phil Gang. We value every gang member. During the day, you got a question about your stock, you contact us. We have the best service in the world. philsgang.com. You're not alone. You're a gang member.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call. That's 877-600-4264. Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Radio Show. Want to know more about Phil's Gang? Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. You know, my friend Walter Scheer, and I hope you get his book, he called me last night and he said, you know what nobody talks about is how much cash. Now, he's 92 years young. He says, think about this, how much cash the United States has compared to their debt. And remember, everyone says our debt's $20 trillion. It's over 100 trillion. It's like 200 trillion when you add in Medicare, Medicaid, and all those, right? So just take the 20 trillion. Walter's right. Do you know that Apple has more cash than the United States? You're talking about 49 billion is what the Treasury has. We have 20 trillion in debt. Now, that's not the whole debt, remember. Everybody thinks that's the debt. They always say 20 trillion. No. We got really, it's like 200 trillion, okay, in debt when you have everything in. But you use that if you want. And here's what's really funny. Every time, I gave you the numbers, and here's what's really funny. When you listen to Aunt B, everything's transitory. Everything is transitory. Listen.
We think that it's partly transitory influences, namely declining oil prices and the strong dollar, that are responsible for pulling inflation below the 2% level we think is most desirable.
Everything to her is transitory. Look up the word transitory. Temporary. Brief. Short-lived. Are you kidding? Tell me what we've had that's been short-lived. What? Or temporary. What is she talking about? There's nothing that has been short-lived that is affecting this country, this economy. It's been with us forever. Debt. Is debt transitory? She said it was. She said our debt was transitory. Everything to her is transitory. My God. Everything. But the danger is they don't fix it. If something is wrong, you got to face it. You look at it right in the face and you say, let's fix it. You can fix anything. Let's fix. But this is the problem with this administration. This is the problem that we have with with both the Republicans and Democrats. The only thing I can fix is the way you invest. And that's why, again, it's so important to please get my friend's book, Walter. It's called Walter's Way. Walter's Way. Go to waltersway.org. Order the book. It's an award-winning book. I mean, the things he has done is incredible. I'll tell you when we're going to do a signing so you can come visit my good friend Walter. And it was funny. He's 92. He calls me last night. He said, do you know how much cash the U.S. has? I said, no. He said, well, check it out. You'll see. You'll be stunned. And I was. Apple's got more money. Apple's got more cash. So please, you got to meet Walter, good friend, and all the money from this book goes to St. Jude and goes to the Vera and Walter Scheer Family Foundation too as well. Remember, this is the man. Without him, we would not have the fax machine. Okay, but in this book, it's so inspiring. And that's why it's an award-winning book. The entrepreneur that he is incredible. The things he has done. And you're talking about mergers with companies. And I mean, and how he did it. And the stories are funny and they're fun. It's a great book. Check it out. And I can't wait for you to meet Walter. But let's get back to this transitory. I can help you. We've got to make a decision here. Or you got to make a decision. Your 401k is not working. Those days are over. People are starting to finally realize that the stock market has nothing to do, or the stock price has nothing to do with the company. Finally, people are figuring that out. Finally, the people are figuring out that Wall Street, the 401k, is a fraud. Now, finally, every day in the newspaper, some company is getting sued because of the hidden fees in these 401ks. In fact, the fees now, it seems like the average fee is not 2%, but now they're finding out the average fee is 3%. Every 1% in your 401k equals 28%. They take 28% of your money. So whatever you save over all the years, you got $1 million saved, 1% fee takes 28%. 2%, double it. 3%, double it again. And now we're finding that it's not 2%, which we always thought it was. It's more than that. More than that.
I knew there were just a ton more fees behind there somewhere, and we just had to find them.
And they found them. So I'm going to help you. And let's take, for example, Ford. I put up Ford. Go to my site, philsgang.com. I put it up on my PT2. We set a price to sell short at $12.38. Now, this will be fun for you, and you'll be able to see this, okay? And so we haven't hit the strike price yet, but when we do, then let's follow it. Let's follow it. And you'll see how it's fun, and it works. But here's what's really fun. You control. You've got total control now. If it starts going against us, then we got control to stop it and to keep your losses small. You know, the idea with investing is how you invest. It's not the amount of money you have. It's what you do with it, how you invest it. That's what's important. But what's real important is to make sure the money you have, that you hold on to it. That you just, to give, I cannot ever think in my mind, why would you give a stranger money? If you got 10,000, 20,000, whatever you got, 5,000, how do you feel that it's safe to give somebody money? When remember, they have no relationship with you.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
And that's not transitory. I'll tell you that. That is not transitory, brother. That is not transitory. Transitory. God. So Ford. So why don't you follow me on Ford? Let's check that out. Because, see, I think this whole auto industry is going to blow up. Going to totally blow up. It's the only thing that's keeping America alive is the auto industry. It's the same thing that kept America alive was the subprime housing market. Now it's the only thing keeping America alive is the subprime autos. And, of course, you got the student loans. But here's what's interesting. My question to these people in this administration, if everything was so good, then why not just normalize the rates? Why for 90 months did you have this extend and pretend policy? And why did you have Yellen for a solid year put forward the narrative how the economy was doing so good that she said, oh, I'm going to raise rates, it's doing so good. But she waited for a whole year, and by the time she finally raised them, she raised them exactly at the wrong time, the end of December, and then January comes and the stock market has the worst January in history. It plunges like no other time. Under Obama and his economic policies, the Bureau of Labor Statistics says the majority of his 14 million jobs, which is not 14 million, it's 9.1, that he takes credit for, were at the bottom of the occupation distribution, with real median wages between $8.84 and $10.97. This is his own BLS. This is what they're saying. These are the majority of his 14 million jobs. Even give him the 14 million, though it's a lie. The more important issue is these jobs, the majority of them were at the bottom of the line. They were paying $8.84 to $10.97. Isn't this crazy? In addition, 6 of the 10 highest growth occupations experienced real wage declines across all occupations. We got to do something. And that's why I want you to join the gang. Phil's gang. Let's create some wealth together.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
If the federal funds rate were to return to near zero, the FOMC would still have considerable scope to provide additional accommodation.
Accommodation, what does that mean? It simply means printing money. What she's saying is the economy's terrible. We're going to claw back that 25% or 0.25% interest rate hike that we did in December. and I'm going to print a whole bunch of money so that we can give it to companies to buy their own shares back so they can boost the stock market higher. The problem with that money, it's 0%. That means that people lose their jobs. They go from full-time to part-time. From part-time, they go to poverty. That's the problem. We can't keep doing this. Here's the point. When the market is going up, it's always when the economy is bad. Join my gang, philsgang.com, so you can participate.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
Time is the one thing that we want more of. Without the donors, I wouldn't have my Audrey. They take care of our housing. They take care of our food. In addition to the best medical treatment that my daughter could ever have. So it allows me to focus on my daughter and getting her better.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Listen to what Fisher said, the former Fed governor.
We front-loaded at the Federal Reserve an enormous rally in order to accomplish a wealth effect.
That's right. Did you hear that? They took the stock market, front-loaded it, ran at 200%, so we ended up not only with a fake stock market, but fake GDP, fake money, fake jobs, fake prices, fake everything. But we took advantage of that, and we're going to take advantage again. That's why I told my gang in May to short the market. On 5/29, that's May 29th, I'm telling you to short the stock market. And we were right. And the market went down over 11%. That's why you got to join my gang and learn how to short stocks just as much as buying them. Learn how to short with me, Phil Grande at philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Be sure to watch the Phil's Gang Show with Phil Grande, weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on various devices like smartphones, tablets, your computer, and more. Get free access to the Phil's Gang Show right in your hands at home or on the go. Simply go to philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com and click on the Listen Live link. And we'll see you on the charts.
Let me ask you, could you use a little extra money? Well, of course you could. Everybody could use that extra revenue to pay the bills, pay down debt, or save for retirement. With philsgang.com, we help you make that extra income in the stock market. For over 15 years, Phil Grande and philsgang.com helps folks who are interested in learning short-term and long-term investing by providing professional-level charting skills and strategies. philsgang.com is your #1 source to learn, invest, and profit in the stock market. And you can do this for only $49.95 a month. With philsgang.com, you learn how to invest in the market. You get daily investment coaching guidance, and you will learn to invest and trade with the skills and confidence of the pros. Just log on and get daily investment instructions and make profits. Plus, all philsgang.com material is archived for your convenience. Go to philsgang.com to join or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Call today. Welcome back to Phil's Gang Radio Show. For more information, simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. You know, we come in the morning, we have what we call coffee talk, but we just don't sit around and throw the bowl, or joke or laugh. Our coffee talk is serious. Every morning before you start out investing, we have an intense discussion on what is going on and where we should be investing, because it's all about not the money, but where you're putting that money. Join my gang, philsgang.com, and enjoy the best coffee in town.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. We do have the best coffee talk in the morning. I really believe that. I think we have the best system teaching format in the world. I really do. Are you kidding? For $49.95? Have you ever looked at some of the prices of these people that they charge? Are you kidding? I think it's great. And all we want you to do is help St. Jude. That's all. And we keep it so simplistic for you. It's so simple. Go to my video over the weekend. You'll see What is more simple than me pointing out, okay, it's turned green now. Let's buy Tiffany. Then as it's going up, I'll say, okay, let's add because of this. Let's add because of that. Let's not add. Or, okay, now we got to take our profits because the institutions, you can see, is just starting to turn red. We got a confirmation. That means money coming out. Let's put that money in our pocket and let's turn around and short it and get it on the way back down. What is wrong with that? Nothing. And I think if you check it out, and try it for a month or two. And I think you'll find, yeah, I'm making money. I'm really making money. But I'm really making money when the stock goes down. Now, tomorrow I'm going to start hearing this, because I drive around. I love going shopping for my wife, for Marta. I like going grocery shopping. I always hear these same people. Well, if you come to me, I'm an advisor. I'm a money advisor. You never will lose money. Never. When the market goes down, you will never, never lose money. You only make it on the way up. Never on the way down do you lose money. And if you have $100,000, I'll give you an extra $10,000 to start with. God, I got my checkbook out. I was trying to get my cell phone. I was so excited. I'm going, gee, I don't do anything anymore. I'm going to get real rich now. I never lose money. I'll never lose money. And people believe that. There's no way that you really believe that. It's an insurance policy. Don't fall for that stuff. It's an insurance policy. What happens is you give them the money. They don't give you $10,000 in cash, and 2 days later, I'm going now. I decide not to do this. Go keep the. Are you nuts? What happens is when the market drops, it's an insurance policy you're paying for. And the problem is the amount of money. I mean, that's right. You don't lose money on the way down because you're paying this big insurance policy. You're paying for that, brother. But here's where you really pay for it. On the way back up, we just had a 22% rally. Just take the last rally, a 14% rally. 14% rally in about, 10 days. You wouldn't have gotten that 14%. They lock you in. They limit you to the upside. How do you think the insurance companies make money? You really think an insurance company is going to come to you and say, hey, I'm going to make sure you never lose money. Every time you lose money in the market, I'm going to make it up for you. I'm going to give you the money so you never lose money. You think anybody's going to do that for you? Never heard anything so silly in my life. And they sell millions of these things. And the people that sell it make a fortune. The commissions are incredible. But the key is you can't make money on the way up. They limit you. If it goes up 14%, read the fine print. You're limited to like 2% of the 14% or 3% of the 14%. That's why the insurance company always make the money, not you. It's ridiculous. What you want to do is make money when the market's going down. Not this, I don't want to lose money. You always lose money. You got inflation. Are you kidding? If you go look at my PT2, go to my site, philsgang.com, and I have the 3 videos for you, and you'll see how you make money when we short a stock. So simple. When it turns red, you sell short. So simple, so easy. But let me get back to this. So Obama says anybody that thinks the economy is bad is what did you say, fiction? It's all fiction. Really? Well, let's think about this. Obama said he's a warrior for the middle-class worker, a defender for the low-income worker. No, he isn't. No, he isn't. That's all a bunch of BS. That's a bunch of nonsense. The majority of his 14 million jobs that he takes credit for, it says right here, 98% of these jobs that he got are $8.84 jobs to $10.97 jobs. The report goes on and says that he's a warrior, yeah. The massive printing of money, here's the problem. Why the low income person doesn't make money. Because there's a mass, every time they print money to bail out the banks, that's what it's all about. They print to bail out the banks, to prop the banks up. So Obama estimated 1.8 million high-wage jobs, right? He eliminated 1.8 million high-wage jobs, replaced them with 1.8 million low-wage jobs. What good is that? And the wages, okay, for this group just keeps plummeting, because the more you keep printing money to keep propping up these banks, the dollar gets weaker and weaker, and you don't have any buying power. So all these jobs that he's putting in, not only are they part-time jobs, they're low-paying jobs, but we're losing again 1.8 million high-wage jobs, and we replace them with 1.8 million low-wage jobs. What good is that? The reason is these bank bailouts is what kills the low-wage guy, because of the printing of money. They got to prop up the banks. They got to bail the banks out. So all the printing, all the value of your dollar drops. Your purchasing power drops. So that hurts the low-wage worker, the people that they say that they're helping the most, the janitor, the personal care aides, the home health care aides, the maids, the housekeepers, the cleaners, the ones that really get hurt are the food preparation workers, the cooks. Then the next one that really gets hurt is the retail sales worker. So he keeps saying how he's a defender of the low-income people. It's not true. You can't defend the low-income people if you're doing all this printing of money to keep bailing out the banks. And Hank Paulson was on CNBC today, and he's defending it. He's saying, let me find where you listen.
But this brings us back to the big banks again, because they are easy targets for populists. Easy targets.
You should be a target, because it's the bailout that's killed the wages in this country, especially for the low-income people. And that's why they do this phony minimum wage. They're always out there, the politicians. We're going to get you a minimum wage. We're going to hike minimum wage. And it's all political. And that's in this administration, everybody pushes this hike in minimum wage to mask what they have done by doing quantitative easing, by lending money to the banks so they can buy their own shares back. All this printing has killed your wages. So they turn around and say, well, let's do this. We'll tell everybody going to raise the minimum wage. They won't understand. And they don't understand that 97% of the 1.7 million people out of 152 million people are on minimum wage, and they're all 16 and 19 years of age. Most of them are high school kids or kids that dropped out from high school. 0.1% are either single moms or family. So that's what they do. So the more that we have this quantitative easing, the more that we're printing money to give to companies to buy their own stock back, to push the stock market up, the price higher and higher for all his buddies. That means the workers, the low-wage workers, who he says he's the warrior for, he's lying. He's taking care of the top-end guys through printing of money. And then that means when you go to the grocery store, when you used to have $100, you could get 2 bags of groceries. Now you get 1 bag. He's not helping anybody but himself and the banks. That's it. I'm going to help you, though. Join my gang, philsgang.com. Go check my videos out.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grande, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
It's up to me.